Hi, and welcome to Behind the Scenes with Axiom Medical. I'm your host, Jason McWinney. If you're first joining us, this is a new live series where we go behind the scenes and talk to the people at Axiom Medical that make them tick. We've had quite a burst of new employees over the past year or so, and some employees that have been here for a really long time. So we just kind of want to let everyone get a sense of all the people that are here. And for this episode, we're going to interview our communications director, Brennan. Hey, Autumn, how are you?
Hey, Jason, I am well. How are you today?
I'm doing well. So I mentioned just briefly there that we have some new employees. We have some employees that have been here for a long time. You follow into the former. You're a new employee. Yes. Can you remind us when you started with Axiom Medical?
So I started with Axiom in February, right before Houston, our headquarters, had their big freeze over. So it was a really interesting time to join the organization and also learn about my team and that they didn't have running water. So it was a dynamic time. It was a nervous time. It was a great way to bond with you guys. But I live in Minneapolis and I just felt helpless. Like, what can I do to help?
Yeah, that was a trying time for a lot of us because a lot of us lost power and water. So we couldn't actually do anything. You know, something like 26 million of the 29 people in Texas were without power. So what a time to start.
Yes. Well, I felt bad for you guys, and I had no idea about the infrastructure of Houston. So it was a big learning curve. But I think what it taught me was just how close the team was. So, as dark and uncomfortable it was for you guys to not be able to shower for a week, it was still a great way to get to know the team and how close you were and to be able to support each other through that chaos.
Chaos is definitely what it was. So like you said, you come from, you're in Minneapolis, but where are you from originally?
So originally the fashionable east side of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Lived there most of my life. I did move out to the West Coast in Eugene, Oregon for pre-med, and then I bopped back to the Wisconsin area. So I just moved to Minneapolis about 3 years ago.
Oh, fun. Yeah. I myself have never been to Minneapolis, but you keep threatening to have me up there. So someday.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to be your hostess.
And that's Lake Wobegon. Is that what's up there?
No, Lake Minnetonka, the healing waters of Lake Minnetonka, made famous by Prince. So yes.
Nice. So you've been with the company 6 or 7 months now, something like that. Explain to people what your role is at Axiom Medical.
So as communications director, it kind of overlies both internal and external communications, public relations, and culture fun. So it's pretty much the best of all the worlds. And what I really appreciate about it is that it allows me to leverage my background in communications and marketing along with my medical side. So it's just really, really fun. And for me, the culture has been the biggest draw and honestly the biggest surprise. It wasn't something that was necessarily advertised of like, we've got a great culture, but I found that out by detecting, and it was an organic blossoming that was really a great surprise for sure.
Yeah, we definitely have a quirky company and also a quirky department.
Yes.
Marketing people, communications people generally are a little off kilter, and that's what we're paid to be. We're paid to be a little off kilter, and you definitely fall into the team well.
You're so kind.
So take us on a journey. How did you get into this role of communications director, and how did you get into this sort of career path?
So, wow, I've been in communications and marketing for about 20 years. But my life before that was in natural medicine. So that started in my teens. I started working at an apothecary in high school, ended up making my own apothecary and starting my own company at 19. Was working mostly with hospitals and universities to talk about natural medicine and wellness. And it was a blast. I also had a private practice for about 15 years in Wisconsin. And over that time, I just was so enmeshed with the natural organic lifestyle and movement that I started working for Organic Valley, which is headquartered in rural Wisconsin, and became their marketing, PR, events department of one when they were growing by leaps and bounds. So it was a great way to get an introduction that felt a little gentle into corporate America. And it just kind of went from there.
Nice. When you first started and you gave us your history of where you've been prior to working at Axiom, you shared some information about Organic Valley, which I found was interesting. Seeing the brand in various stores across the country, I'm sure other people that are watching have heard of that. But what I didn't know is that company is owned by the farmers.
Yes.
I was wondering if you could just talk to us about that.
Absolutely. So I'm super passionate about cooperative structure. I think it's really important not only to practice democracy, but also empower people. That's what it's all about. So Organic Valley is currently, I believe, the world's largest farmer-owned cooperative. So what that means is that when you drink milk in Minnesota, you're probably getting it from a Minnesota farmer. So it's fresher, it's a lower carbon footprint. They take really good care of their animals. And to me, that made sense. It was fantastic. It was a great opportunity to get my feet wet in corporate America and also just continue living my values and doing things that I believe in. So that's definitely been a theme throughout my career as well. But from Organic Valley, moved to motorsports, financial technology, education technology, the world's largest furniture manufacturer. So I didn't just stay in my little hippie bubble of comfort. I did expand out. And it's been a blast. It's always been fun. I really enjoy marketing and communications. It's a beautiful balance of, activating your creative side of your brain along with the more analytical side. I just love it.
That's great. Yeah, you're definitely someone who has strong convictions and stands for what they believe in, and that's a commendable trait, I believe. So let's talk about what you're doing now with Axiom Medical.
Yeah, so right now we're doing a lot of things internally and externally. So externally, we've been celebrating new members coming on board. We have a new CFO. We've been celebrating our 10 million check-ins and all sorts of fun stuff that are just like huge milestones for the organization and really speaks to our ability to grow and expand and just really have fun with the brand. We're also working on some internal products that will be blossoming in the near future. I'm not going to drop too many hints, but just keep your eyes out for us. We've got a lot of good stuff planned. And probably one of my favorite things to do is to hang out with you and shoot fun videos all over the place. And also, listen to reggae on our way to farmers markets.
That's true. For some of the people that don't know, Autumn and I did a trip out to California to visit our team out there that do a lot of our on-site services for TV and film production. And we filmed a bunch of our employees, some of our clients, just a bunch of stuff. We landed and went straight to an Oscar party and then went to our hotel and spent the next week pretty much filming from morning until night. So that was a lot of fun. You definitely get to know someone when you spend a week with them. That's for sure.
Yes, I think it was a good cannonball into the deep end, and I'm glad that you're such a patient person with me.
Same.
But I think we had a lot of fun. We were also really productive. But once again, it was one of those things where when you work remote and then you hang out with someone so intensely, I think we did pretty well. And I'm glad that we have similar taste in shoes and music. That's helpful.
That's true. Yes. There wasn't any arguments of what to put on the radio. So that was great.
Right. Super helpful.
So what does the future hold for Autumn?
Future. Ooh, let me gaze into my crystal ball. So many things. Well, you know a lot about me in the sense of I value cooperative structure. I definitely have this background in natural medicine. So in the future, within the next 5 years, my plan is to purchase land and build another sustainable family sanctuary. I did it in my early 20s when I was working at Organic Valley, and I'm ready to do it again. Now that sustainable technology has come so far, it's much more accessible, and I feel like I'd be able to do a much more efficient job in creating that sanctuary.
Very interesting. So what would you have on this sanctuary? Lots of animals?
Of course, animals, but definitely growing our own food and medicine is a big part of it. I study permaculture and biodynamic farming. So all of that stuff is just, I geek out on for sure. Also for the last almost 30 years, I've done pit bull and bully breed rescue. And so of course we'd have a few. Keep it a small number. We don't want it to get crazy. And any other animals that float along our way. So yeah, in the past, we've had everything from llamas and fainting goats to miniature horses and, gimpy geese and all sorts of fun stuff. So I'm sure it'll be a menagerie of fun no matter what.
That's great. So some of the people in the company may not know you, and some of the people that are watching here may not know you. But what are some interesting things about you? You've told us a lot about what you've studied, the different positions that you have. But outside of that, outside of work, what makes Autumn tick? What makes you happy?
Well, obviously, friends and family. Relationships are number one for sure. I have raised a lot of kids. I have three biological children and only one left in the nest. So I love hanging out with my kids. We all love cooking and playing and dancing in the kitchen. That's a big part of it. I'm also a yoga teacher. I don't teach it outside of my home, but I definitely enjoy doing yoga and working out, and just living a really healthy lifestyle is important to me. I'm also on the board of directors at my local food co-op, which is really, really fun. Once again, an opportunity to practice democracy and collaboration, and also really understand a little bit about the community needs and support a sustainable business model. So, it covers my tofu habit, I guess.
Yeah, you've got a pretty big tofu habit.
It is.
Yeah, I guess it goes without saying that you are a vegan. Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
I dabbled in vegetarianism when I got food poisoning about 17, 16 years ago.
Okay.
But yeah. So what else can you tell us about yourself? You like music.
I do.
Obviously. What's your favorite thing you're listening to now?
Oh boy, that's tricky. I've been really in a music rut, Jason. I've been meaning to ask you about that. I need you to throw me some ideas because I've been listening to the same like Pandora radio station again and again. So, typically like indie rock type stuff. The last live music I saw, and we talked about this before, the last live music I saw was in Portland. I flew out just to see the Black Keys and Modest Mouse, and that was great. That was a great live performance, but then COVID. So I haven't seen anything since, but I'm looking forward to it, to do it safely in the near future.
Are you a user of Spotify?
Yes, I am. I just haven't made the transition just yet and fully. So I think we even have a family membership, and yeah, I just need to do it. I feel like it's almost like having a Hotmail account being so hooked up with Pandora.
One thing I like to do, and I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
One thing I like to do on Spotify is I call it 6 degrees of Spotify. So I'll find a band. So this is a band, Heliocentrics. I just chose them.
Yes.
And I'll go to Fans Also Like, right? And so I'll go the first one, see Mr. Chop. And then I'll go down to Fans Also Like, and I'll go boom. And I'll do that until I'm 6 down to a band I've never ever heard of, like The Terrifying Ooh. I don't know what they are. And I'll check them out. And if I like them, great. If I don't, I'll go back and try another one. But also, if you find a band that you like, you can go to Artist Radio, and it'll create a playlist for you based on that artist's music.
Wow, the Natural Yogurt Band, is that sponsored by Organic Valley? Asking for
The Natural Yogurt Band. But yeah, that's how I discover a lot of music.
That's an awesome technique. I'm gonna have to try that. It'll get me back on Spotify again too. Yeah, I just been listening to the same stuff. I gotta break out of this shell, Jason. Help me.
You can do it. I'm gonna share a comment from Safe Call Now. It says Axiom rocks.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. So what else? Let's finish up here. And what are you looking forward to in the near future? I know that we've got a lot of stuff that we're working on internally. You've got a lot of stuff that you're working on externally.
Yes.
Anything that you're working on, like podcasts, something like that?
Maybe. I am working on a podcast. I'm also working on a line of nutraceuticals, which will incorporate not only adaptogenic herbal medicine, but also very specific targeted cannabinoids and medicinal mushrooms. So yes, and the line, my focus around the line is to really create an environment where chronic illness doesn't proliferate. So there are a lot of common threads with chronic illnesses like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, and Lyme's that aren't being addressed by the medical community or anyone else. It's this big question mark in the world. Like, how do you do this? How do you treat it? I myself have had Lyme's disease twice and healed myself from it. And I'm living pain-free, which is fantastic. I love it. I'm here for it. But I want to continue that and share that with other people as well. So podcast coming up, full line of all sorts of fun nutraceuticals, and yeah, just more fun, more joy, bringing it.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. I think anything else you want to add? before we jump off?
I'm just really happy and grateful for our amazing team at Axiom. And this isn't a plug. This is like totally authentic. I love the eclectic mix that we all are, that we all have very unique interests and so much diversity within our group, not only for interest, but also talent. So yeah, I'm digging our marketing vibe. I'm digging working with HR and legal and executive team. It's just, I really appreciate the culture, and it's something that really surprised me about Axiom for sure.
Well, I think I can speak for everyone that you definitely added a layer to the department and the company that we needed, and it's been fantastic to see you just sort of fold into everything and just keep running. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Well, let's see. Wait up. We got another comment from Holly. Love our Autumn.
Oh, Holly. Okay, so I have to tell this quick story about Holly. So, so we all live far apart. Holly lives in Texas. I live in Minneapolis. And honestly, when you work with a team where you can literally feel their love from that far away, you know you're in the right place. And I remember when we were all supposed to meet in a meeting I think it was in March or April, I believe. We had never seen each other in real life. I didn't know if people were 6 feet tall or 4 feet tall. We had no idea what each other would be like in real life. And I honestly, when I'm thinking about meeting Holly, I thought we were going to run together like Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog. Like I just thought it was just going to be, and I wish we would have captured those first hugs. You know, we did it safely. We were all COVID tested ahead of time, but there was hugging going on for sure.
That's hilarious. Yeah, Holly's a great person. And if anybody hasn't seen, she was the first interview for Behind the Scenes. So go back on our YouTube channel and check that out.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us, Autumn. From that, I will bid you adieu, and we'll see everyone in 2 weeks.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Jason. Thanks for the tip on the music too.
Yeah, no problem. Bye.